I love a good adventure. In gaming, there's no shortage of epic journeys, but adventure comes in many flavors. Sea of Stars was exactly what I was looking for. An amazing and magical world with the most gorgeous pixel art I've ever seen. A fun and unique turn-based battle system, and a story that kept me playing way past a responsible bedtime. This is the second game by indie developer Sabotage Studio. Their first was the fantastic 2D side-scrolling action game The Messenger. In fact, Sea of Stars is a prequel to The Messenger, as both games take place in the same universe, and they are making more. Don't make the mistake of thinking Sea of Stars is just another retro-inspired turn-based RPG. That isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I think anyone, like myself, who is a fan of these types of games, has bought and put down many of them, because all too often they stick to a very familiar formula. Sea of Stars takes the best parts of that formula and weaves them into something original, and more importantly, something really fun. Your first couple of hours with Sea of Stars will introduce you to a lot of lore and story building. Don't worry though, you'll also get to know the battle system and experience maybe my favorite part of the game, exploration. The way you traverse the world is fantastic. You can climb, jump, shimmy on ledges. There is more of the map available to you than in any other game in this genre. You combine that with the fucking gorgeous pixel art, and you've got one of the best examples of a classically inspired JRPG in the last 10 years. The brilliant level design makes sure you rarely have to backtrack, with tons of shortcuts that you can activate as you go. That first impression of the story you will get does not reflect how deep and genre bending it will be at the end. I don't want to say too much, just know that you're in for a memorable tale. All in all, Sea of Stars gave me one of the best first impressions I've had of a game in a long time, especially in the JRPG genre. The most impressive aspect of Sea of Stars is its pixel art. I'm a huge fan of great pixel art, and I've played damn near every fucking game with pixel art style that's worth playing. And there's an argument to be made that Sea of Stars does it the best. I also need to mention the animated cutscenes throughout the game as well. Visually, this game does it all. There is detail in everything, from the day and night cycle to the many different biomes throughout your quest. You don't have to backtrack often, but when you do, it's not so much of a chore. It's actually fun. It is genuinely fun with a world this beautiful. I know all that sounds kind of flowery, but Sea of Stars has genuinely impressed me. I can't imagine the amount of man-hours it took to create this world in such detailed pixel art. When you consider Sabotage Studios' last game, The Messenger, Sea of Stars is a massive jump in the visuals department. What's exciting is that the game has done so well that we can expect a lot more from this talented group. They are currently working on what sounds like to be a hefty DLC campaign, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. Plus, it sounds like they're already starting to plan for Game 3. What brings you to an RPG? For me, it's the plot. I don't care how great it looks or how well it plays, the plot gives me a reason to care. I know this isn't everyone, but when I buy games, 90% of the time, this is the first thing I look for. Sea of Stars has a great plot, but not a typical one. At first, you think that this is a pretty run-of-the-mill fantasy story that takes place in a beautiful world. You play as two characters, Zale and Valir. When you start, they are children in the small village of Mooncradle. They are solstice warriors in training, each one born on a different solstice, destined to train at the academy at Mooncradle. Each one harnesses the magic of their respective solstice in the fight against the world-destroying magic of the Fleshmancer. The story evolves in a way that expands beyond typical fantasy. What at first feels like a small world with one big bad guy becomes something that could be infinite with numerous villains and friends. Multiple plot threads, all well written and interesting, come together and make your previous ideas of where things were going feel pretty small. All of that to say, the story really kicks ass. When people talk about the best indie RPGs of the last 10 years, Sea of Stars will be in the conversation. Obviously, this is just my opinion, but it seems in the more niche corners of the JRPG fandom, there's been a split of opinion. Some feel Sea of Stars is shallow. There's no deep customization systems when it comes to battle or weapons and armor. There's no branching story paths. The most celebrated RPGs lately have had these systems, but I think that's missing the point. Sea of Stars is meant to be a grand adventure. It wants to tell you an amazing story that makes you smile. When the point is the story, you don't need all of those complicated systems. I personally appreciate the simplicity of it. What it aims to do, it does well. Sea of Stars is a game worthy of your money and time. Hopefully soon we will get more information about the upcoming DLC, and if we're really lucky, this is just the start of many stories to come. Hopefully, this video has helped you figure out why you should play Sea of Stars. Take care of each other, gamers. I'll see you soon.